Silal Central Market for Vegetables and Fruits is witnessing an active movement during the holy month of Ramadan. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issued Royal Decree number 36/2026. Article 1 states that a library shall be established under the name the National Library for Oman. The library shall have legal personality, enjoy financial and administrative autonomy, and report to the Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth in accordance with the provisions of the system attached to the decree. Article 2 stipulates that all allocations, assets, rights, obligations and inventories relevant to the manuscripts department in the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth shall be transferred to the National Library of Oman. Article 3 states that the employees of the manuscripts department in the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth shall be transferred to the National Library of Oman along with their financial grades. Article 4 the competence of collecting, restoring, documenting, authenticating and publishing Omani manuscripts shall be transferred from the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism to the National Library of Oman. Article 5 stipulates that the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the National Library of Oman shall be issued the regulations and decisions necessary for the implementation of the provisions of this decree and the attached system. Article 6 cancels all that contradicts this decree and shall the attached system or contravenes their provisions. Article 7 this decree shall be published in the official gazette and shall come into effect from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received a written message from the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, regarding the fraternal relations between the two brotherly countries. The message was received by His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court, during his meeting this morning at his office with His Excellency Ibrahim bin Saad bin Bishan, the accredited ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the Sultanate of Oman. In its second regular meeting, the Municipal Council of Dhofar Governorate reviewed a proposal to launch the Neighborhood Team Initiative to instill values and a spirit of cooperation and participation among community members. The meeting also addressed several other issues, including regulating commercial registrations for herbalist shops to enhance health oversight efforts, to raise community awareness about genetic diseases, and the importance of pre-marital medical examinations. The Council was briefed on the outcomes of the meetings with the specialist at the port of Salalah regarding the provisions of training courses for entrepreneurs in the Dhofar Governorate. The meeting was chaired by His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Said, Governor of Dhofar. The Municipal Council of South Al Batna Governorate reviewed several development topics at its regular meeting this year. It reviewed a study on establishing a referral hospital in the Wilaya of Barka and the establishment of a cultural center in the Wilaya of Wadi Al-Ma'wil. The Council also discussed extending water services to several villages in the Wilaya of Al-Awabi, establishing a tourism promotion center at the Al-Luban Park in the Wilaya of Nakhal, and studying the project to develop Al-Tarif Market in the Wilaya of Al-Musanna. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Engineer Masood bin Saeed Al-Hashmi, Governor of South Al-Batna. The Silal Central Market for Fruits and Vegetables is witnessing notable activity with increased demand during the holy month of Ramadan. The market received approximately 250 tons of locally grown Omani watermelon daily, in addition to 150 tons of locally produced cantaloupes. This supply volume reflects the strength of local agriculture production and its ability to meet consumer demand during the season. The market's policy of supporting local producers contributes to price stability, ensuring a balance between the supply and demand and limiting price fluctuations typically associated with peak seasons. The state of Kuwait celebrates its National Day, rejoicing in its developmental achievements across various fields. The Sultanate of Oman joins Kuwait in celebrating this occasion, reflecting their fraternal relationship and ongoing cooperation, which grows stronger year after year. Here's a report.
A historic leap in economic and developmental indicators has been achieved by the state of Kuwait as it celebrates its National Day on February 25th annually, marking an exceptional developmental milestone. This reflects the building of a prosperous state that is steadily progressing towards the future, grounded in a strong economic foundation, humanitarian leadership, diplomatic prowess, and an expanding global stature. The relationship between the Sultanate of Oman and the State of Kuwait serves as a model for cooperation at various levels, benefiting the peoples of both brotherly countries under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and His Highness Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmad al-Jabir al-Sabah, the Emir of the State of Kuwait. The Duqm refinery project is the largest investment of its kind between two Gulf countries, represented by OQ Group and Kuwait Petroleum International, known as Q8. This project embodies the vision of both countries in meeting global energy demands and contributes to strengthening local and regional development. Data from the Statistical Center for the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC Stat) showed that Kuwait has achieved unprecedented financial and investment surpluses, supported by strong sovereign wealth funds that have surpassed assets of $1 trillion. Kuwait also accomplished a historic achievement by ranking 19th globally in the National Brand Equity Index and was among the top 10 countries worldwide in the Global Innovation Index for 2025. In credit ratings, Kuwait ranked within the high category with a stable outlook, further solidifying its international position in humanitarian work, which has become a permanent part of its national identity and global diplomacy.
And now for the international world, a fresh round of talks between Iran and the United States is expected in Geneva tomorrow, Thursday, with U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner slated to meet with an Iranian delegation for the negotiations. The two countries resumed negotiations earlier this month as the U.S. builds up its military capability in the Middle East. Iran has threatened to strike U.S. bases in the region if it attacks. Iran and the United States are sliding rapidly towards military conflict as hopes fade for a diplomatic solution to their standoff over Tehran's nuclear program. Officials on both sides and diplomats across the Gulf and Europe say Iran's Gulf neighbors and its enemy, Israel, now consider a conflict to be more likely than a settlement. These sources say with Washington building up one of its biggest military deployments in the region since the invasion of Iraq in 2003. A Palestinian was martyred and others were wounded when an Israeli drone targeted a group of Palestinians south of Khan Yunis. The Israeli occupation army continues its daily violations of the ceasefire agreement, with its artillery targeting areas east of Gaza City. In Rafah, in the southern Gaza Strip, Israeli airstrikes launched several airstrikes while Israeli forces continued to demolish Palestinians' homes east of Khan Yunis. The United Nations has warned of the continued deterioration of humanitarian situation in Sudan, particularly in North Darfur. At a press conference, UN spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric said that the ongoing escalation of violence in Sudan is facing thousands of people to flee to eastern Chad in search of safety and is also hindering the delivery of humanitarian aid. He noted that a long stretch of North Darfur is currently home to more than 715,000 internally displaced people who fled attacks targeting Al-Fashar and neighboring displacement camps last year.
The plan also
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty the Sultan issues a royal decree. His Majesty the Sultan receives a written message from the custodian of the two holy mosques handed over by His Excellency the Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court. And the Silal Central Market for vegetables and fruits is witnessing an active movement during the holy month of Ramadan. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night and stay safe.